song with sweet accord, and thus surround the throne, and thus surround the throne. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upwards to Zion, the beautiful city of God. Let those refuse to sing who never knew our God, but children of the heavenly King, but children of the heavenly King, may speak their joys abroad, may speak their joys abroad. We're marching to Zion, beautiful, beautiful Zion. We're marching upwards to Zion, the beautiful city of God. The next song we'll be singing is Sweet By and By.
There's a land that is fairer than day, and
By faith we can see it afar, for the Father waits over the way to prepare us a dwelling place there.
in the
sweet
by and
by
by,
and by we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
in
In the sweet by
by
and by we shall meet on that beautiful shore. We shall sing on that beautiful shore the melodious songs of the blessed, and our spirits shall sorrow no more. Not a sigh for the blessing of rest.
in the sweet by and by,
We shall meet on that beautiful shore.
in the sweet
By and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore. To our bountiful Father above, we will offer a tribute of praise for the glorious gift of His love and the blessings that hallow our days.
in the sweet by and by,
We shall meet on that beautiful shore. In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore.
Our opening song is Joy to the World. Please stand.
joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare Him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ. While fields and floods, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy.
You may be seated.
Let's go. Two verses.
Hello, happy Sabbath. Welcome to Vespers. It's now time for special prayer time. So you can get into groups of 2 or 3 and pray for Acrofest and the arrows to keep them that they can stay safe, and for music tour tomorrow, and Miss Laurie and sick people, and yeah, you can pray now. Dear God, thank you for this day. Thank you for your Sabbath and that we can rest and take a break from school. And I ask you that you can be with the arrows and the music people that are going out tomorrow, and that you can be with us tonight and put away our distractions, and that we can learn from the people that are speaking tonight. Just pray, just pray. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
It's not on. Mike.
Hello? Thank you. Oh, it works. How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son to make a wretch His treasure. How great
the
beyond
pain
the
of searing
loss,
the Father turns His face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory. Behold the man upon the cross, my sin upon His shoulders. Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers.
It was my sin that held Him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished.
I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom.
Hello? Oh, it's on. Okay. Well, hello everybody. So I guess we're doing this chapel. Well, no, Vespers couch talk. Never done one of these before. It's gonna be fun. Just gonna explore a little bit of our lives, of us growing up, and kind of how we got here. Unlike the other chapel talks, the other couch talks, none of us are married, so we don't really got that story. But we got the story of our lives and just some of our experiences. We're gonna share that with you. So I'm gonna start with myself, I guess. Okay. So what? Oh, first let's pray.
Hello? All right, let's bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to pray that you would be with me, Seth, and Luca as we share our stories. Please help what we say to be your words and not ours, and help it to be a blessing to everyone here. In your name I pray, amen.
Okay, so was it? Wait. Like that? Oh. Okay, I guess pictures aren't all loaded in. Okay, so I don't know what happened to the first two pictures, but this is some pictures of me when I was a little kid. But first I'm going to start with kind of a little bit of my parents. So my father is from a country called Bosnia, and he came to the U.S. when there was a war going on over there. A pretty nasty thing that he had to go through. He was in the city, and they were just shooting and bombing, talking a whole bunch of stuff into pretty bad. And eventually he ended up coming to the U.S. That's really short, condensed. Doesn't really tell a detailed story, but maybe sometime my parents did one of these talks, but I don't think anybody was here. Okay, yeah, Seth was here, and I guess Noah was here, and okay, well, some of you guys were here, but most of you weren't, and so my dad did not grow up Adventist. His family was atheist, grew up in not the greatest situation, so he ended up coming to the U.S. after some time. My mom is from Wisconsin, was born in Wisconsin. Then shortly after, they moved to Ohio. She is a pastor's kid. My grandfather's a pastor, so moved around a little bit. And my parents ended up meeting in high school at Mount Vernon Academy. That's what the first picture is supposed to be, but it's not working, I guess. I don't know. I did something wrong, probably. Hopefully there's not more of them like that. Yeah, all my pictures be like that. So they met each other at Mount Vernon Academy, and they started dating their senior year, and then went to Andrews together, and then ended up getting married. That's what the second picture is supposed to be, is a wedding picture. Oh well. Then April 30, 2004, I was born in Fort Thomas, Kentucky. There's those little pictures of me. That's all me. Apparently I wanted to play the piano. I did end up taking piano lessons for a while. Don't do that still, so, oh well. Let's see. This one, yeah? Oh, yes. I don't know what the missing picture is, but some more pictures of me. So the first picture is me holding Petar. That's Petar. I tried to put as many pictures of my siblings in here as I could, just because it's fun. I don't remember what the second picture was supposed to be. Oh yeah, she pulled it up on her phone. Yes, so it's a group family picture. You would have seen Mihailo's baby, but wasn't there. So then there's us. I don't know exactly how old we were in the picture of the three of us, but not too old. See, in the bottom left, there's a picture of me, Bengals jersey. I don't know, probably like first, second grade, something like that there. Probably like the school spirit week, we had like, sports day. But probably something that I should have mentioned before, what I kind of failed to mention, is when my father started going to Mount Vernon Academy, he ended up getting baptized. And so my parents, I've grown up Adventist my whole life. The school that I went to, and starting in first grade, was Mayfair Christian School in Ohio, near Akron. Seventh-day Adventist school. And I went to that school all the way from first to eighth grade. So basically, I've lived in that area that whole entire time. First grade, I lived a little bit further away, but probably second through fifth grade, we lived in the same house. It was a duplex, not very big, but it was fun. It was nice. And then soon after that, we ended up buying a house literally down the road. So I've basically stayed in that same place for most of my life. Mihailo, both Petra and I were born in the same place, and then Mihailo was actually born in Cleveland. Let's see, I'm 2 years older than Petar, and I think, 5 years older than Mihailo? Yeah? Is that right, Mihailo? Okay. There's a picture of Mihailo and I ice skating there. You can see he still had all that energy back then, right? He's kind of jumping or doing something, I don't know. When I was in fifth grade, I ended up starting to play the cello. That picture is not of me in fifth grade, but I ended up starting playing the cello. I had taken piano lessons from my grandmother. She's a piano teacher from basically since I was little till, I don't know, probably stopped around like 6th, 7th grade, somewhere in there. And when I was in 5th grade, I started playing the cello. Honestly, I really started playing the cello because there was at our church, we had this little orchestra group. It wasn't really anything super fancy, super nice, but we there's a group of instruments, but there was no cello. Nobody was playing the cello part. Nobody was playing that line in the music. And I was like, you know what? I think it would be really fun to do that. And also, my uncle had played the cello. He doesn't play it anymore, but I was like, so I kind of had like a little bit about it, and that started taking lessons, and I've really enjoyed it. That's honestly why I don't really play the piano anymore, just because I would rather put more time into the cello. So I was really nice. That picture of me with the cello is actually me in 8th grade. I was in this orchestra, not with my school. My school didn't have that. It was like some Akron Youth Philharmonic thing. And then that picture of me, I broke my arm when I was in 3rd or 4th grade. Very interesting experience. We had an outdoor school day, so we went to one of my friend's house. Actually, he had a really nice property with outdoor stuff. I don't know if anybody knows Evan Keys. Some of y'all might know that guy. We went to his house. If you didn't know, he's from Ohio. So we went there and we were playing this game of tag. But it was kind of weird. There's birds, and there's baby birds, and then eagles or something like that, or hawks, I don't know. And basically, for you to be safe, for you to be in the safe zone, you had to come back to the nest, and you had to get down and crouch down in the nest like you're hiding. But as I was crouching down, I put my hand right here to brace myself on the floor, and this kid went and sat on my arm right here. And that broke my arm. It was kind of bent like this. So that was kind of tough. But we went to the children's hospital. I remember that being very painful. They had to like reset us. They put me to sleep. But actually, kind of like a sad story, but kind of like something. When I think about that time, I think about. So there's this little girl. I don't know what that was about, but she was very sick, and had this very bad disease thing. But it was actually somebody who my grandfather, I think, from one of his past churches, had like pastored their family, and she was getting life flighted into, I think that's what you call it, with the flight in a helicopter, to that hospital, the children's hospital. And it was just kind of interesting how things worked out, how we were both there at the same time. Really an opportunity that God gave for my grandparents and for like just my family to help to like take a time to actually be able to be with the family and comfort them and pray with them. And just interesting how things like that work out. And oh yeah, I thought I put a different picture there, but hopefully it all updated. Don't have empty slides. Okay. Yeah, see? But yeah, that's basically kind of just how, just like my growing up life to 8th grade, I graduated there. And then, yeah, when I was in, I don't remember what grade I was, probably like 5th or 6th grade, I ended up getting baptized. I didn't find a picture of that. Asked my mom for a bunch of pictures. She didn't send me that one. But I ended up getting baptized, and, you know, my whole life being in the church, being able to do things, I was very involved in Pathfinders. I did PBE. That was a lot of fun for me, Pathfinder Bible experience. And I just kind of had the opportunity to always know God from my first days, which is really just a blessing in my life.
Test.
Hello. Okay. So I hope most of you guys were here last week, so I don't really have to tell much of my parents' story because they already did that for me. Lucky me. Oh, right. Can I have the little clicker thing? Hello? Thanks. Okay. Oh, all right. Nope. Okay. There we go. Sorry. That's me. Okay. So, I was born on June 15th, 2002. My due date was like May 28th, I think. So I was like a good while late. June 8th. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. And so I was late. When I was born, I had jaundice, which I don't really know what that is. I mean, it's like high bilirubin or something like that. So that top picture is me sitting in a little sun blanket, which is supposed to like help with that. I don't really know how. I should ask my mom more about that. But and I also was born with a hole in my heart, and I can't remember what my mom called it, but I have a thick valve in my heart. And so until my junior year, I went to the doctor about every year and then like every other year to just like monitor that. And I mean, it really didn't impact my life, but it was always in the back of my mind. Like when I was running, I was like, is my heart gonna fail? It didn't. I am fine. And my junior year, when I went to like my last appointment, it was gone. So I like to think that I healed myself of my heart defect. So there's that. And then I guess some other pictures there are of me in a tree. I always love to be outside and in the outdoors. I didn't put many pictures of my siblings in this. I don't know why, because I'm really close with all of them. But I guess growing up, me and my older brother Luke were probably, we like to call each other best buds. We were pals. That's the picture of me and him sitting on the counter there. We got into all kinds of mischief and fun times and stories and climbing through the woods and all that stuff. And then I guess that's just me in our car. Let's see, hold on. Okay. This is, oh, 2 of them are missing. Okay. So when I was 10 about, we moved from Alpena, Michigan, which is like way up north, to here in Cedar Lake. My sister was a sophomore. My mom had tried homeschooling her for high school freshman year. Didn't work out. And so we moved down here so that we could be village to go to GLAA. And I guess the top picture is me with 2 of my friends in Adventurers. That was Josie and Abby. Those were my childhood best friends, I guess I would say, because, I mean, once we moved away, like, it was hard to stay in touch. But, yeah, that's us in Adventures. I don't even remember what we were doing. But then that's me with Shelby, which she will play a big part in my high school pictures. She's in, like, every single one, which is great. She's awesome. She's, like, my best friend. But that's us in Pathfinders, and then they're in elementary school. And then I don't remember what that middle picture is supposed to be. And then graduating 8th grade. And Elise joined us, and Nona. Yeah, those are some great years. Moving here was something that was really hard for me. I liked Alpena, and I wanted to stay in Alpena. And moving here was something that I didn't want to do, but I'm glad that I did, because I got to come here, meet all kind of different people that I wouldn't have met if I had stayed in Alpena. But I do really appreciate that time. The hardest thing about the move was that my dad had to come down and work here before, like, the rest of the family joined him. And my dad and I are really, really close. And so when he would leave, I would, like, stand at the end of our driveway and, like, watch him, like, go past the last hill until I couldn't see him anymore. And then I would just, like, cry. I was like, where's my dad? So that was, like, really, really hard for me. And so, like, the biggest, like, joy of moving here was that my dad didn't have to leave anymore. So I guess that was the hardest thing about our move for me. Between 8th grade and my freshman year here at GLAA, I went on a small mission trip out to Montana to an Indian reservation. I couldn't find any pictures of it, otherwise they'd be up there. It was called Extreme Bible Workout, that's what it was. And we were like, we put on like a VBS program for some of the Indian, like, kids on the reservation. It was a very interesting experience because I hadn't really left Michigan up until that point. I made like a small connection with one of the girls there. Her name was Jade, and she didn't really like anyone, but I had broken her out of her shell, and we kind of connected, and she would listen to me, which was great because she didn't listen to anyone else. But that was kind of what I would think is the start of my love for, like, sharing God and, like, ministry in that way. After that summer, we went to, like, a Pathfinder leadership thing, and we got the opportunity to, like, pledge a year of our life to serving God. And I put my name down for that because that's something that I always thought I would do, and now I'm finally doing that. So I guess that's my birth to 8th grade journey.
All right. Let's see if this works. There we go. Okay, so this is me. This is me. So I was actually born in China, and I lived there until I was 2. So it's a place I actually I actually don't know how to pronounce it. The place, the province that I was born in, or whatever it's called. But yeah, so that was me. So I was born in China, and I lived there until I was 2. And when I was 2, my parents actually had a plan to adopt. They had my sister. So my sister was actually 11 months younger than me, but they had her already. And they said, we want to adopt someone, but we want to adopt someone that has some sort of like foot or like, leg issue. Because my sister actually was born with club foot, and they knew like a really good orthopedic surgeon. They knew a really good physical therapist. So they're like, we want to adopt someone that could use these resources that we have. So they prayed about it, and they're like, okay, this is something that we're going to move forward with. And so they chose to adopt from China, but they expected to get a girl because everyone from China that you adopt is mostly girls, because apparently at that time they could only have one kid, and if they wanted a kid, they wanted a boy, right? But it happened to be that I was up for adoption, and so they decided, we're going to adopt. They didn't actually know. I don't believe. They might fact check me on this, but I don't believe that they actually knew who I was, who they were adopting until they got there. But they were like, we're going to adopt, and adoption is actually super expensive. So my family does real estate. We do rental properties, like we rent properties and stuff. And so they actually decided, okay, we're going to go all in with this. And they sold houses so that they could have the money. They did bake sales. They did all this stuff. And they were like, we're gonna adopt. So I get to. They come to China, and they come and pick me up. And I was a very naughty kid. I was a very, very naughty kid. And they would tell me stories about how I'd scream. And they didn't want to do anything to me in China because they didn't want to look like bad parents. Well, which they weren't, right? But they didn't even want to discipline me in general because they didn't want to look like bad parents. So I took advantage of that. But when they got to the United States, that's when it all ended. But yeah, so that's kind of me. And I really enjoyed my childhood growing up. And I remember getting I don't remember, but I'm told the story of me getting prosthetics. And I got my prosthetics for the first time. We went to Massachusetts to a specialist, and I was told that I did not want to put them on. But I was told that if I wanted to go play in the pool downstairs, I would have to put my prosthetics on. So I put my prosthetics on, and I walked down to the pool, and it all worked out. But yeah, so that was me, and I don't know what this next slide is. Oh yeah, oops, my bad. So that's me again. There's more pictures I could have put in here of my childhood, but I figured I didn't want to put too many, and also I want to make sure. So anyway, so that's me again. And throughout my childhood, I enjoyed my time with my family. I enjoyed my time with my siblings. I have a younger sister and a younger brother. Nathan, goes here. And then my younger sister is in college right now. She's actually at an internship right now in Chicago. But yeah, so I enjoyed my time. I was an oldest child, and because I was an oldest child, or maybe in spite of, I don't know. But if you study birth order, I was an oldest child. I was a bossy child, and so there's stories of me I would be playing cars with my sister because it's two brothers, right? So my sister would play cars with us instead of us playing dolls with her. But she would play cars with us, and I'd tell her, I'd tell her to whisper so that I could hear myself talk and tell my own story. And I do all this stuff. But I had a lot of growing and maturing to do. And then, yeah, that's me. My family, we took a lot of trips. It was a lot of fun. We took trips across the country to Alaska and the Midwest and the Pacific Northwest. Then we went out of country. And this is a picture of actually me in an airport. I was obviously really tired. I took my legs off. And when I took my legs off, I went to sleep. And so that's me just sleeping in the airport. And as far as I know, I'm a pretty deep sleeper, so I'm sure it was a pretty good sleep too. But yeah, I was just there. And yeah, I enjoyed. I have pictures of the beautiful views that we saw and stuff. And I didn't want to put them up there because they aren't really related to me. They don't have pictures of me in them. But it was really cool. And I'm really appreciative of that. But yeah, so that's me. And I grew up in, I forgot to mention, I grew up in upstate New York. And so that's where I grew up, and I spent the majority of like my growing up years in New York. But as I was growing up, I was also very like involved in church, and I remember being in Pathfinders, and my parents were like community service directors, and so like every Monday we'd go and help them, and yeah, so it was definitely a very fun time. But when I was 12, we were at a church camp. Well, actually, also I got baptized too. I don't have a picture of that. But I got baptized up at Camp Cherokee, which is an Adventist youth camp in New York. It's super awesome in the Adirondack Mountains. Beautiful. But yeah, I was baptized there. When I was 12, we were at a church campout. And it was Sabbath, and it was late Saturday afternoon actually, and we were swimming. And I was enjoying myself with my siblings, and we were going through just enjoying myself. And I don't know if we were 100% keeping the Sabbath, but it was fun. But it was that day that my dad passed away. So he was there, and we were swimming, and he passed away. Like it was a swimming accident. And so for me, being 12. It was a very difficult time. Like I remember, like it was really rough, right? Because I mean, I was enjoying life, right? And so I'm thinking through this. Like I was thinking, like it was definitely a time of like I remember being there, and it was just like we had a very supportive church family, and my dad was like super involved in church. He was like the head elder and like stuff, and so like the church family like rallied around us, and it was very nice, right? But yeah, but for me personally, like as a group, it was good, right? They were very supportive. But for me personally, it was difficult, right? And you can imagine, right? And I think that it's important to remember as we go through these things. I think it's important to remember, and I don't know like what you guys are have gone through or are going through right now, right? But I think it's important to remember the person. I think it's important to remember the great controversy narrative, right, in all of this. And we think about if you've taken Bible studies, if I've done Bible studies with you, I've probably said something about how in war innocent people get hurt, right? In war innocent people get hurt, and I think about that in terms of the great controversy and the battle that we're in, right? And it's really a matter of innocent people getting hurt, and Satan knows the best way that he can emotionally hurt God is by hurting us, right? And so thankfully, God can use what Satan does and turn it around for good. But ultimately, we are in a battlefield, and bad things can happen to even innocent people or even good people. But yeah, so that was when I was 12, and as I got older, we enjoyed our time in New York. But my mom realized that she wanted an elementary school and an academy for us to go to. And at that time, she did not feel comfortable with the elementary school that we had grown up in, and the academy that was there. It's a good academy, right? And it's gone through a lot of growth, just like this academy has. But she was like, we need to go to a place where we can have a good elementary school, a good academy, and we can go through this. And so I picture God like having the big picture in mind. He's moving these pieces around. And in 2016, we moved, my family, we moved to Michigan. So that's how I ended up in Michigan. We moved to Michigan, and we moved to Midland. And that's where I ended up going to elementary school. I finished out my 7th and 8th grade year there. I graduated. I don't have any pictures from that. But yeah, and then I went, then I moved on to high school, which we'll talk about later. But so yeah, that's my childhood. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, so it was good. Oops, that's my bad. Here you go. Oh yeah, that's another picture of me. So that's me on the right. That's me running a 5K. This is after we moved to Michigan. I love running. I've not done it as much recently here at Great Lakes just because of time. But I love running. I'm about to run a 5K in my running legs. At that time, they were Pathfinder running legs. And the person next to me is Scott Frayne. I don't know if any of you know Scott Frayne. Yeah, but him and I were racing. And at that time, he beat me. But I have since beat him. And so it's been fun. And then that's also me playing piano. I grew up playing piano. I played piano since I was like 7 or 8. And yeah, so I really enjoyed playing piano. And I think that's all the pictures of me. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
All right. This is me in high school here at Great Lakes. I told you guys that we moved down here to go to GLAA. I guess kind of how Seth moved here for GLAA, not quite as far, but we did that because, like I said, my sister, my mom, I don't know, freshman homeschooling didn't work, but she was also like, my sister has her biological dad, and like sharing time with back and forth between my house and her dad's house and stuff like that was hard to do, especially like if she was boarding, she wouldn't have seen her daughter like every other month. So that's why we moved down here. Not that boarding here isn't just distracts me. Okay, not that boarding here isn't great, because I do wish sometimes that I had boarded, because you do get a closer connection with the girls in your class and in the school in general than I got. Though I did like grow up with some of the people here who are village, like Shelby, like you see in almost all those pictures. I guess 2 of them. But yeah, so that first picture is of me and Shelby in Puerto Rico. That was the music mission trip they took to Puerto Rico my sophomore year. We painted houses. I think that picture that you can't see is me standing on a house. I can't remember. Because I was painting like the side trim, and I was like on top, like leaning over, just like with a roller and like painting it. It was great, because I felt like a daredevil, even though it wasn't that bad. But yeah, so that was Puerto Rico, another mission trip that was just amazing to see a different culture. They drive crazy over there. It is absolutely crazy. But it was another experience that kind of like sparked my love for missions. Next, that picture is me at junior senior camp out. That was when they used to go to Lazy T Ranch, which was so much fun. That was my junior year. And then I was here at GLAA. Oh, that's right. The one that you can't see is me at Arrows. I was like part of the MC Act, and I was standing there talking. So my first 2 years here, I was on music. I was Wind Symphony my first year, and then I did Wind Symphony and concert choir and chambers. Yeah, I was singing with Lindsay there, one of my other best friends. So I guess the story that I want to share but also don't want to share is about me singing. I love to sing. I sing a lot to myself. I do not necessarily like to sing for others. I always kind of wanted to get up and lead songs at chapel or do a special music, and I didn't do that my freshman year. Or I didn't do a special music my freshman year. My freshman year, I did get over the fear of leading songs in chapel. I prayed. I don't know why I did, because it was something that scared me, but I was like, hey, God, I kind of want to do this. I'm not sure that I want to do this, but if I'm supposed to do this, show me. Like, I don't know, just show me that I'm supposed to do this. And so, like, the next day, someone at lunch came to our table, and he was like, hey, I'm trying to find people to, like, lead songs for chapel. Do you guys want to do it? And, like, he pointed at some of my friends, and they were like, I don't know. I don't really want to do that. That's really scary. And then he was like, how about you? And I was like, did I ask for this? And so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it was crazy that God answered my prayers, because I hadn't really experienced that. And that was just amazing to see. But it was also like kind of a push to like God saying like, no, you do need to share this gift. And since then, like throughout my high school, I almost said college. Throughout my high school experience, I did my fair share of special musics, and I was on Arrow's music and was music leader my senior year. And so it was something that was kind of a staple through high school for me. That last picture there is me getting rebaptized. I was baptized when I was 12, and my sophomore year, Samson Sambeba came to GLAA to do a week of prayer, and he talked about myths about God and just broke down like different like myths that people had told you. I don't remember like the specific ones. I just know it was about myths about God, and it really spoke to me because like growing up Seventh-day Adventist, I hear a lot of different views on different things, and it was really helpful to see a perspective that I hadn't seen before, and it was really helpful, and it impacted me. And I had always kind of had a thought in the back of my mind like, hey, you should maybe get rebaptized. And so at that point I was like hearing all of these things that he was talking about and breaking down and really like opening up for me to learn new things about God. And I went up and I put my name down for rebaptism, and after I did that I went back to the pew and I stood there, and I just felt like this relief and like peace just like wash over me, and it was beautiful, and it was amazing to like truly like feel God in that moment. I had never experienced that, and it was truly amazing. But I didn't end up getting rebaptized until my senior year. I studied with Pastor Daniel my junior year and my senior year. We kind of got a little sidetracked because of COVID, which was right in the middle there of my junior and senior year. I don't know if I have more. Oh, that's okay. We'll get to that. So yeah, and COVID kind of messed up. Well, didn't mess up. It changed my high school experience a little bit because my junior year I didn't really get to complete. I would have loved to have a home show with that Arrows team we had because we were really good. And after COVID, everyone was a little rusty on their physical activity. We were all a little bit used to sitting and doing nothing. But yeah, and so during my senior year, I had about a 2-month chunk of school that I wasn't there because 2 weeks or a week before Thanksgiving, we got exposed to COVID, and then we had Thanksgiving, and then you had to get tested or something to come back. And so then I didn't do that, and so then it was Christmas break, and then I actually got COVID, and so I didn't come back until like halfway through January. And when I did come back, I walked into the ad building, and Mr. Garcia looked at me. He was like, "Oh my word, I haven't seen you in so long." I was like, "Yeah, I've been out for a minute," and it was interesting because I felt like coming back, like I felt like I missed so much of that thing you look forward to, like your senior year, and so that was interesting. This slide is of me as a baby, obviously. I'm not going back to my birth, but these are 3 of my grandparents. Like, it's my dad's dad, my mom's dad, and my dad's mom. They all passed away in the last 3 years. That was something that I didn't really expect. They were all in like their 60s, which is not old at all. And my grandpa, my dad's dad, he passed away during alumni weekend. We were here during the musical section of the program, and I got a phone call from my mom. And I'm Village, so I have my phone, but I ran to the bathroom to take a phone call from my mom because she knows where I am, so it's like, if she's calling me, I should probably answer. And she told me that he passed away, and I just like broke down because this was right after COVID. This was like the October of my senior year, and I hadn't seen him in like a year maybe. And every time we had like gone up north to visit family and stuff, like we would stay at his house, and he wasn't much of a talker, but he was there, you know. And so it was just a big shock. And my freshman year of college, during Christmas break, my other grandpa passed away, and I had to come back like a week or so late because of his funeral and everything for that. And that was a really drawn out process because his health was not good at all. So that was something that was really hard to watch. Watch someone you love like just slowly like slip away. It was very, very hard. And just this past August, my Busha, that's Polish for grandma, she passed away. And of all of my grandparents, she was definitely the one I was closest to. She was always down for a joke. She loved to laugh. She was actually knew Seth because she had a prosthetic leg that she lost in a farming accident. But she had so many stories. She was so full of life. And she also
slipped away really suddenly. And so that was something that also really affected me. But I do have the peace of knowing that she, of all of my grandparents, she did learn about God and had a close walk with him. And so I know that I will see her again, which is amazing because I can't wait for that day. Yeah, that's 3 very important people in my life that I miss dearly.
It's good to see that half my pictures didn't make it on there. Okay, some interesting stuff. So, when I was in 8th grade, even 7th grade too, I had to think about where I was going to go to high school. I knew I was going to go to a Seventh-day Adventist school, and I wanted to go to a boarding academy. But all the way back when I was in like 5th, 6th grade, somewhere in there, Mount Vernon Academy ended up closing. And that's where, like, growing up, I thought I was going to go there. You know, my parents went there. They met there. It was in Ohio. It was going to be perfect. Like, it was going to be great. But it closed down, so I had to look for other options. And so I ended up visiting some schools. And the whole time that I'm thinking about this, I said, I never want to go to GLAA. Never. Said, this place is in Michigan. I never want to go to Michigan. I do not like this place. That was my thoughts. But still, I ended up visiting. It wasn't during, like, academy days when people usually visit. I was doing PBE. It was like either the, I'm sorry. Good? Yeah. Okay. It was PBE. I don't remember. It was either like divisional or national, whatever. I didn't want to miss it. It was important. So I ended up visiting, came here for like a weekend. And when I came here to visit, and I had my experience just seeing how campus was and stuff, and that moment I knew, no matter how unfortunate it felt to me, I knew that this was the place that I was gonna have to be. I felt so at home. That's how I felt. I felt like people were very nice and genuine here. I'd gone to some other places, and they just didn't. I didn't have the same. It didn't have the same feeling that this school had. So my freshman year, when I showed up, that's the first picture. That was when I was a freshman. Might be hard to see, but I was tiny. I mean, I wasn't tiny, but I looked really, really young. I looked really young. And I had a roommate, didn't know him. Honestly, I knew like two people that were coming here. I knew Evan, and I guess three people. I knew Evan, I knew Ryan and Rebecca. That's all. But I hadn't seen them in years. I hadn't spent time with them in years. And so it still was kind of awkward. But I had a roommate, and he was like, I looked like this really young person, and this guy had like a whole beard, looked like a whole like, it was just like everything about us was very opposite. Everything about us was very opposite. And so the beginning was a little rough. I felt kind of alone. My roommate didn't like me at first. And it was a little tough, but as time went on, I made some friends. Some of the upperclassmen started talking to me, which was nice because they were kind to me, a lot of the juniors. But as that year went on, it was a good year. I also went on the Puerto Rico mission trip. I really enjoyed that. It was a really great time. I did not do the painting of the houses. I was digging holes and like we were putting these like cables over these like trailer homes or whatever to like help keep them down in the event of another hurricane. So we dug these deep holes, poured like cement in there, and there was this little like hook, and then you put this big cable over it, and it was supposed to help keep it down. And that was just honestly a really amazing experience. I loved doing that. Learned a great amount of lessons while I was there. It was really nice. I wish the rest of the pictures were there. I don't remember what all was there. I hope the rest of my slides aren't like this. Let's see. I guess I could see it. Look at it on here. Oh, yes. In between, maybe it's a good thing that some of the pictures aren't there. In between my 8th grade and freshman year of high school, that was actually my first year that I worked at summer camp. Just crazy, because I was like 13 years old. Like, if you can imagine Mihailo working at summer camp. Like, think about that. He was a counselor, would have campers in their cabin. Like, think about that. Of course, I was not. Mihailo and I are a little bit different, but still. And it was just, it was really. I've been working at summer camp ever since, and just so many great. I love summer camp. Honestly, like, recommendation, everybody here, like, go and work at a summer camp. It is like a fantastic experience. And even if I don't like kids, I don't like whatever, listen, I think that there is something that you can gain and take away from summer camp. I worked in the one in Ohio, because I'm from Ohio, and I had been going as a camper all my life. There's just so many like fantastic moments of ministry and things that you as yourself, you're the counselor, but you learn so much during that time. I was in music when I first came. Actually, before I came my freshman year, my mom was constantly bothering the school. Are you guys going to have an orchestra? Are you guys going to have a string orchestra? All this stuff over and over again. And then literally, like, I don't know how soon before I came, but maybe like a month, couple weeks, they hired Mr. Sandvik. So Mr. Sandvik and I have had a journey together. It's been fantastic. Yeah, it was really nice. I played in the strings. I played cello, and it was just, I love doing it. Oh, look at that. Wow. So yeah, summer camp, mud run, crazy times. Bottom left picture, that's me during sophomore year. Okay, sophomore year, and I was, it was like, I think it was Christmas music weekend for something. And then the bottom right one, that's might be hard to see, but good friend Freddie and I, good friends. During my sophomore year is when COVID happened for me, and it was interesting times. You see, even though I'd grown up as a Christian my whole life, as an Adventist my whole life, when I got to GLAA and going to different Bible classes, just being in the atmosphere of chapels every day and doing worships every day, something that really stood out to me that I realized that I didn't have growing up, or that I didn't have for myself, was a personal relationship with God. And I realized that, and I saw that. But I didn't act on it. And by the time sophomore year had come around, the people I was hanging out with, the people who I was friends with, was probably not the people that I should have been hanging out with. Like I said, my roommate was one of those people, you know, very different backgrounds. And when all my friends, my close friends, when a large group of them were asked to leave the school, that was a very tough time for me. And I realized something. And I realized that while I might have felt like I knew God when I came to school and had some sort of relationship I was going on with him, it was all just from my parents, and I had run out. And that's kind of when I hit a really low point. Then COVID happens, and I went home, and I was already very much struggling, and my relationship with my family was not that great. Being at home during COVID times was just a really, really tough thing for me. I did not want to leave my room. I didn't want to have much interaction with them. I was online school, but just like a whole section of time that was just like pointless. Didn't feel anything. And it wasn't until I went and I started working at summer camp that summer that I realized, like, that's where I really got to know God better. I remember going out and just sitting out in nature and spending time with God. We had this during the staff week. We had this thing where we went out, and it was like Sabbath, and what we were supposed to do is we were just supposed to go out and spend an hour with God, reading the Bible, observing nature, praying, singing, and all of that was just a very huge like turn of just coming back to God. So when I came back my junior year, I was pretty excited. It was fun, and I made that's where I really started to make a lot of friends in my class. Let's see, can I go to the next? You know what, why not? Or could you guys go to the next slide? Oh, go back. That's still Seth. Back one more time. Oh, I don't know what happened to it. Maybe. During my junior year, I made a lot more friends. I became a lot more closer with a lot of people. There we go. Great times. Okay, so the first picture, my junior year. It was the banquet that year, and all of us, we just want to take a great picture together. I had a lot of fun with my friends, and I think that was something that I really came to appreciate being at GLAA, is being in the dorm, being able to spend time with them, and just get to know them like so much better. And so many of those people today I still talk to. The second picture, we had a junior senior banquet because from what I was told, I don't know if this is actually true. From what I was told, we didn't get to go on our trips that year. We didn't get to go to Boston, and seniors didn't get to go to DC. So we had some other event, and that was another like.
So I organized that with like Shelby Romashko and Ellen Council, and our thought process was like we missed out on that, and we were told later by Mr. Gardner when they presented it to like the staff or whatever. Mr. Gardner was like, I mean, we can't say no to you guys because I mean you lost so much, so they had to say yes to us. So that's why we got that.
Okay, and yeah, it was a really great time. Just lots of fun memories, and then we get to. Actually, I don't know if I should. That's like when it's the kind of the first banquet where I started hanging out with somebody more, a specific person. Yes, Alex. No, not. But speaking of Alex, that bottom left picture, that's a picture of Alex and I playing on cellos together during senior year. If we go all the way back to freshman year, I was moving into the dorm with my parents, and Alex was moving into the dorm with his parents, and all of a sudden, Alex's mom and my parents were like, wait a minute, we know each other. They went to high school together at Mount Vernon Academy. It was like a whole big reunion and stuff, and they're like, oh, like my son's going here freshman year, your son's going here. We both play the cello. They're like, man, you guys could play your cellos together and be all so great. And you know what I thought in that moment? Oh, I'm not going to do that. It's like, I don't know why. I was very shy, super shy person. It's like, I'm not going to do that. But as it turns out, as we spent more and more time together, we played. First time we really played together was during our freshman Sabbath school. And then for every event after that, like every class event or even just other stuff, we were always playing our cellos together. We would try to kind of make up our own stuff and experiment with it. And yeah, it was just, love doing that. It's been great. Next picture is senior year. This is the banquet that we had that year. Four Seasons banquet. Invested all the money and time into the trees and nothing else. It's my take on it. It was fun though.
The tree looks good though. The tree looks good.
The trees looked good. Could use the.
One of the trees look good.
Okay. Anyways, that's Petar. Petar's there with me, and there's me, and then there's Cielo. We went together at that, and then her sister Leslie. And that was really fun. It was just hung out. Did we go ice skating before that? We went ice skating before that. That was also fun. Freddie and I caused havoc on the ice rink. That's all I'm gonna say. And then also, some of you know, I really like to play basketball. I like to play sports in general, but basketball is probably my favorite. Well, definitely is my favorite one. When I came as a freshman, I did not really play that much. And there is this guy who kind of trained with me every day, especially during volleyball season where we couldn't play as much. And he was pretty rough on me. Not rough, but he was pretty like we're gonna do this, get this done. And I remember sitting there he was trying to teach me how to do a good crossover, and he would just knock the ball out of my hands over and over again until I could finally get by him. But that's really started to learn, and I love to play basketball. I love to I think it's fun, and I have a good time. But overall, my time at GLAA was something that was absolutely wonderful. And even though I had like some rough times in there, it was just, it's like, I would never ever get rid of those years. Just most fun, most positive, good experiences. My senior year, I became an RA, which was nice. It was actually kind of a story about that. When I was a sophomore, I was a desk monitor. And I think the guys already know this story because I told them in the dorm. But I was a desk monitor. And then the desk monitor was like, okay, next step is you have the potential to become an RA. But when I was a desk monitor, I had to work during like the G&H/dinner period. And I hated it so much. Because I wanted to go, I became more of a social person, kind of contrast, but I became more of a social person. I wanted to hang out. And I wanted to go to dinner and hang out with people. But to be even more truthful, I wanted to hang out with one specific person. And let me tell you this, horrible decisions were made, but let me tell you this, because of that, when we were at COVID, we were at home, I remember trying to put in my application to be an RA. I remember getting the call that I wasn't, and I was like, hey, so could I still be a desk monitor? And he was like, yeah, probably not. That's probably not going to happen. So basically, I got fired. Not 100%, but basically. And it was well-deserved. I mean, when Mrs. Garcia ended up calling Dean Sharon, it's like, yeah, so, or maybe my mom called something. He's not making enough money. This is a problem. So then I got talked to, but even then, I still was trying to chase after this person. And you should never do that. Don't ever do that. It's not worth it. It's not worth your time. But my junior year, I ended up working in the ad building. I was a janitor in the ad building. Anybody here janitors in the ad building? Yeah? Oh, wow. Listen, janitor in the ad building is a fantastic job. I don't know how you guys think about it, but I think it's a really good job. But my mentality going into that was like, I knew I messed up my job that last year, but I'm going to work hard until I can show my worth and I can prove that I'm worthy to be an RA. Remember, I would come in here and I'd vacuum, go in between all these pews, and that's all I was thinking about. No slacking. I'm going to vacuum till this place is perfect. Now, I don't know how my bosses thought I did, but I thought I was doing a pretty good job. And before you know it, I ended up becoming a math reader working for Mr. Thorman in that same year. Don't know how that happened. I'm not good at math. That was pretty rough, but this somehow happened, and then I ended up becoming an RA senior year. The top right picture is one of my senior pictures that I took, and I ended up graduating GLAA. And one more story from high school. When I was a senior, I think it was senior year, this group from Adventist Frontier Missions, they came in and did a week of prayer for us. And hearing the stories, hearing the different people tell their stuff, and at the end, they had this call, and they wanted us to commit. They asked us if we were willing to commit to something. And they said, commit to like a large amount of your time being a missionary, commit to a few years being a missionary, or commit to be like a student missionary. And in that moment, I committed and I said, yes, I'm going to be a student missionary. Now then, I didn't know where I was going to go, what I was going to do, but I knew that that is something that I was going to do. And I felt that connection with God, and I said, like, I even went back, I remember going and praying and say, like, this is actually, like, yes, I've made other commitments, I've done other things, and then I've broken them all. But this is one that I feel very moved, and I feel that I should fulfill.
All right, so I had more pictures from my high school experience, but I looked at the clock tonight and I realized it was 7:17, so I did not put those pictures in because I realized I only had like 10 minutes until I needed to be over here. But anyway, so For high school, for 9th and 10th grade, I was homeschooled, and that was a lot of fun. I hung out with people, and I had the opportunity to pursue my interests, and we worked with our city's co-op, so we did school with them, and it was fun. I also went to the elementary school, or not the elementary school, but like I went there sometimes and like helped, and it was fun. But 11th grade, I was the plan was for me to go to Great Lakes. So I come to Great Lakes. We took a tour, and long story short, I ended up here at Great Lakes, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it junior year. Junior year was a lot of fun, and I worked in the cafeteria. So cafeteria can be fun. It can be fun. I enjoyed my time with the people in there. I'll say that. And then that was junior year. I remember like COVID happening. Like there was still like little times of COVID when we go home. But then senior year, I come back, and senior year, I was elected to SA, so I was SA pastor. And so that's the group. You can see SA there. So you can see some people. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. And that's a picture of me. I was speaking for something. I don't know what it was. But senior was a lot of fun. I got close to a lot of people. And I was talking to a friend. I think that it's important as you think about your high school experience. I think it's important to prioritize, number one, your relationship with Jesus Christ, but number two, your connection, your relationship with friends. I still talk to a lot of people in my class. And I was just talking to someone the other day. I was talking to her, and we were talking about, going to Great Lakes. And I mentioned, like it's such a blessing to have people that we still talk to. And even now, like my phone is going off. Like we have a group chat. Like people are texting. But it's just a lot of fun. And then like Luca being here, like I got close to Luca and senior year, and then like we're able to serve here as student missionaries. Like it was a good experience. But Great Lakes was a lot of fun. But yeah, so we're wrapping up. But I think that's all I have to say about high school. There's more stories. Like there's a lot of stories. People leaving their alarms on, and people all sorts of fun stuff. But you can talk to me about those stories later. I'm not going to get into them right now because we are running out of time. But yeah, so that was my high school experience.
Okay. This is just some things from college. I did played in the orchestra. That me playing. Went there with Alex is also there. One of my close. Yeah, Andrews. I'm going to Andrews. Sorry, I should have brought that up. Going to Andrews University. Just some picture of my family. Picture with Cielo. And me in Pittsburgh. It's a nice city. It's a nice city. That's all I'm going to say about it. I don't like the sports teams. Anyways. Oh. Yeah, Mihailo's there. There's a picture in the top middle. This is some friends from high school. We all got back together during Thanksgiving break. Went on this trip to the Smoky Mountains. It's pretty interesting, but just really good that, still, like Seth is saying, there is all of us, like most of us still talk, most of us are still close, even though like only a few, like at Andrews, it's only like a couple people from my class that are there, and a lot of them are at Southern, like we still all take the time to talk to each other, and yeah. But during my freshman year of college, I've only been to 1 year of college, I gotta be honest, I struggled. It was tough. Things were more difficult. Worked an actual job, grocery store. If y'all want to hear some interesting stories, come talk to me about that. Don't have time for those. But just overall, college was kind of tough. But during my time there, I was remembering that commitment I had made during my senior year, and Seth was kind of talking to me about it. Seth told me he was coming here, and he was talking. He was like, he called me once. He was like, hey, you should see if you could come and work as a task force dean here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Kind of forgot about it for a while, and then I remember we were talking again sometime later, a few months later, and we talked about it again, and I was like, you know what? Like, I think this is something that I should do. And got in contact with Dean Sheridan. It was crazy because it was like super last second. Like, it was just really crazy how that happened. But it was like within a day they were. Yeah, it was like the deadline. Yeah, basically the deadline. It was literally the deadline, the day of the deadline. And by the end of that, you called me that day? Yeah. Oh. Yeah. And so it kind of just all worked out so that like God was kind of moving, and by the end of that day, they were like already ready to tell me that I was going to be able to come here, and I had to do some stuff with student missionary stuff at Andrews, but yeah, it was just crazy how God moved in that time. And when I think about my time here now, did I have more pictures? Oh no. Okay. Just my time here, thinking about during the summer, worked at summer camp again. I was actually the guides director, which is something I'd been wanting to do for a long time. Really great experience. It all kind of worked together. And I would just say that God has really moved for me to be able to be in this position here, to be able to serve you guys. I've really enjoyed it. I've really loved it. And I'm really excited for the plans that God has for me. I don't exactly know. I started going to school at college to be an elementary school teacher. And I've kind of had some different thoughts about that now. But I think that's something that's really interesting and something that's really good to know is that, I'm here. I'm serving God. And on top of that, I'm also looking for where God is leading in my life. When I go back to college, what am I going to be studying? What am I going to be pursuing in the future? But all of that is, I'm just having to trust in God. There's some uncertainty of it, and I've had some different thoughts about it, but I know because I've seen that God is working in my life, and He's made it possible for me to be here now. So I know that He's going to make it possible for me to do the career and to pursue the ministry that He wants me to have in the future.
All right, so as I think about my time after high school, I worked at camp. I worked at camp after the summer after my junior year, then my senior year, and now I still work at camp. So these are some of my people. I was a counselor 1 year before I was camp evangelist. I was a counselor, and you can see some people. You see Micah there, and then you see Micah and Manu. They're washing each other's feet. It was really a really good moment. And then I have a cabin there. And then there was a scavenger hunt thing, and it was our winning team. We won. I pushed the team to victory. Just kidding, that's not true. It was a group effort, but we did win. And then the next year we won again, so I was super excited about that. That's a picture of that. I love summer camp, like Lucas said. If you have thought about working at summer camp, I would say do it. Pray about it, talk to people, and then do it. Summer camp is an awesome experience. And then this is more pictures of summer camp. I was invited, this was this year. I was camp evangelist, but I was invited to go with the counselors to run their Sabbath school and kind of work with them Sabbath and Sabbath afternoon. So it was fun to hang out with the counselors, even though I wasn't a counselor at that point. It was fun to be back with them again. Here's Ian. Some of you might know Ian. Him and I, he was here. He was a student here. Him and I, every week we'd go to a place called Paddle Hard up in Grayling. And that was kind of like our midweek thing. We just take an evening, go eat pizza, and that was a lot of fun. Here's one of my favorite moments is Campfire Point, and all the people are there, all the campers are there, and this was, I think, a call being made. Campers went up, but yeah, summer camp, it's really great. And then this is me. I went to Southern Adventist University, which I love. I will tell you, I will try to be as unbiased as possible. I know some of you have asked me about universities. I've talked to some of you. I'm going to try to be as unbiased as possible, but I love Southern. Southern is amazing. And here's some pictures. The picture in the middle is, his name's Ben. He's serving as a student missionary in Palau. So that's where he is right now. And he was one of my running partners. We're on a student missionary retreat. And he always pushed me when we ran together. It was a lot of fun. He has a sub 25K, so that was super cool. But we'd run together. Over some other pictures. These are some pictures. Those are end of year pictures. A lot of people were like, "Oh, let's go out to get ice cream. Let's go out, blah blah blah." Like I was leaving for my student missionary, and that was super nice. On the bottom, we went on a lot of hikes. That's an advantage about Southern and being down in that area. A lot of the Sabbaths we went on hikes. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, Southern was a great experience. And here's some more. Oh yeah, this is a trip. So Luca talked about a trip. This is a trip that we went on, and you'll see Luca and I up there. That was at the Appalachian Trail, so we did make it to the Appalachian Trail. Then in the middle, it was Alex, Luca, and I there. And then down in the bottom, some more friends that we graduated with. Then some more hikes from Southern. And then at Southern, I actually, this is kind of a side story. We don't have time, but I had my legs shipped to me. So that's what that was. That's super random. Some more pictures of Southern. Southern was up there. I coached a flag football team, and I had a lot of fun. Like the strategy of football is like super cool, and it's super fun to coach a team. And we did okay. Our quarterback got hurt. He broke both of his fingers, one on each hand. And so we had our backup QB in there, and it was I was trying to it was an interesting, but we did salvage the season, so it was okay. Some more hikes. In the bottom, alumni weekend, we all got together, like a group of us senior guys at Mrs. Glenn's house, and it was just a lot of fun just to hang out again. But yeah, that's Southern, and I don't know if that might be the last one. Oh yeah, and then here I am here at Great Lakes Adventist Academy. So that's where my journey ends, and that's what brought me up here on the couch. So you can see Chapel in the Pines, one of my favorite places here at Great Lakes. And then some students that I think, I'm trying to remember what those pictures were taken. And then Jeffrey and Micah wanted to try on my legs, and so they had the opportunity to do that. You can see it's a little big for Jeffrey. I don't know if you can see that, but it worked. It worked. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm so glad to be here at Great Lakes, and it was a journey in itself, and I can tell you guys about that later. But yeah, now I'm here at Great Lakes for the year, and it's pretty cool. Here, do you want me to click it for you?
I only have like 2 slides.
Is this it?
All right, so I also went to summer camp, and I also went to Southern. My summer camp experience started between my junior and senior years, and so I had applied and everything, and then got accepted. I was working kitchen, which I love to cook, which is cool, and then COVID happened. And so I was like, well, am I going to do this? I don't know, because, I mean, it's COVID, so we were wondering if it was even going to happen. And it ended up happening, and we did meet only kids camp during, like, July. But it was a very hard experience for me, because I went from being around only my family to, like, all of these new people. And so it was very, like overstimulating after being, like, alone. And so it was very hard for me to, like, break out of my shell that summer. And so I almost didn't go back for another summer, but I was like, okay, that wasn't even a real try. Like, that was COVID. Like, COVID messed it up. Let me try one more time. And so I went back after my senior year for one more year, and it was amazing. And I've gone back I'm going to go back again this next summer, so that'll be my 5th summer working at camp. And so that's, like, a few pictures. Me during the play this past year. Owen worked there last year, which was great, even though I didn't really see him because he was hanging out with someone else. But my 3rd summer there, I hung out a lot with Naomi Linder. She is amazing. We had so much fun. That's us going on the kayak trip down the river. It was freezing cold that day, and I was sick that entire summer. And so I, like, went on this kayak trip, and that was the time that Gina was there. She was in my cabin, and her kayak had a leak in it, and so it was literally sinking. So me and Naomi pull up next to her. We're like, hey, are you okay? She's like, no, my kayak has a hole, and I'm literally sinking. And so Naomi and I, as the good counselors we are, Naomi took Gina in the kayak, and I went in Gina's kayak. Literally went on this like hour-long kayak trip in like a waist deep of freezing cold water, and got sick again after I had just like started to get better. It was the worst. But I mean, it was a great experience because, you know, it's camp and everything. Like, I'm sick, but it's all right. I'm at Camp Asable. It's a fun time. So that was a very fun experience. And then, wait, no, I'm not done. Up on the top, this trip with, I think that's Nate Miller who's taking a picture. We stayed in the parking lot of the Munising Adventist Church in the UP, and then we decided to hike a 10-mile trail. And so this was on our day off. And we did this not knowing how long it would really take us. Someone said it was like 3 hours, so we started like 10:30 maybe. Stopped at every like outlook because it was like right on the Pictured Rocks Trail. So we stopped at every outlook. We're like, oh my word, this is so pretty. We didn't take any food with us. And we took very limited water because we thought, like, I don't know, there would be water on the trail. I don't know what was going through our minds, but we didn't have much water. And so we ended this hike at like 3:30, 4 o'clock. We were starving and so dehydrated, but it was so beautiful and we had an amazing time. So it was all worth it, I guess. And then those bottom two pictures are me and Lindsay. We actually met up in Alpena. Her dad was a pastor, and he worked up there with, and that's where Lindsay and I met, and we've been friends for like 16 years. We like started hanging out again during high school because she moved away after 2 years up in Alpena, and we like kept in touch, but it wasn't really like close touch because she was older than me a little bit, and so it was kind of like, oh, Elsie, you're younger, it's whatever. But then in college, we reconnected, and we're like, well, now she's living in Maryland and actually working because she graduated, but we were hip to hip throughout my last 2 years of college. But throughout my 2 years of college, I always kind of had in the back of my mind, like, oh yeah, that SM year, I'm gonna do that at some point. And I almost went to Israel to teach English for a year, but I didn't like do the application, and then I kind of forgot about it, and then it was too late, and I was like, okay, whatever, I guess that wasn't for me. And so then at the end of my sophomore year, like, I knew like I needed to make more of my college experience because I was kind of secluded, and I was scared of like meeting other people because I have a little social anxiety. But I was like, I'm gonna get out there. So I ran for social work vice president, and I won. And so I was gonna be like the vice president of our social work club, which is my major. And so I had that, and I was going to be an RA at Southern. And so I was like, all right, I'm going to meet more people, like make some more friends. And then at like in April at some point, I got a text from Dean Glenn. And I was like, why did I get a text from, am I in trouble? I was like, wait, why would I be in trouble? I literally was never in the dorm. I was like, what is going on? And so I was like, okay. And then I was sitting there, and I was like, is she going to ask me to be task force dean? I was like, to go back to GLAA, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. But like being a dean had always kind of been in the back of my mind, like as an SM opportunity. With social work, it seems like something that kind of goes hand in hand. It's like meeting people and like, I don't know, listening to them, you know? And so when they brought this up to me, I was like, well, let me think and pray about it a little bit, and then like I'll get back to you. And I thought about it a lot during that I think it was over a weekend or something, and I was like debating it because I mean there was some times at GLAA where I was done, like I did not want to be here anymore. And then like I realized, I was like, okay, but that's high school. Like there's points in like high school life, like across anywhere you go, that it's like hard like that. And like I knew that GLAA was actually a really amazing experience for me, and I wasn't in the dorm, but like I knew GLAA, and so I knew that like I hoped that I could like have a good perspective and like help as many girls as I could. And I don't know if I'm doing that, but I hope that I'm, by God's grace, that I am being a good dean here. And so like I decided to come here and fulfill that year that I had pledged to God so long ago, back in like 8th grade. So that's, yeah. And then here's the blessed girls that I work with. If I had to show pictures of me, I had to show pictures of my girls. So yeah, it's been truly amazing getting to know all of you amazing girls. Yeah.
You know, as we wrap up, as we close, I think that it's super cool to tell our stories, and you guys have stories, and we have stories, and the other staff, when they get up here, they have stories, and oftentimes the world tells us our stories, and they tell us about our stories, and they say the purpose of our stories is to get as much money as possible, or to get as rich as possible, or to get a lot of whatever it is to satisfy your hunger for something, right? And then you're going to get all this stuff, and then you're going to die. And all those stories, the way that the world talks to us about our stories would be true, except for one story that changed everything, and that's the story of Jesus, right? So Jesus came down, and he changed our stories. He changed the purpose of our stories. So when we think about it, when you think about us up here on the couch, when you think about the other staff, we have a lot of unknowns, right? And we have a lot of unknowns even compared, like a lot more compared to the other staff up here, right? We have a lot of unknowns. And when we think about our unknowns, I think they can be frightening. I think they can make us question. They can make us wonder, right? But the important thing for you to remember is who controls those unknowns. And you have a choice to make today. You have a choice to make of who are you going to put your unknowns, who are you going to put in control of your unknowns, right? You can try to take control of your unknowns, or you can make the choice to put Jesus in control of the unknowns. The same Jesus who orchestrated the plan of salvation, the same Jesus who brought the staff here to Great Lakes, the same Jesus who worked through our lives to bring us through and to bring us here to Great Lakes. And so I want to encourage you today, trust him. Trust Jesus to write your story. Trust Jesus to walk with you through those unknowns. And trust Jesus, build a relationship with him, choose Jesus, and he will walk with you through the unknowns of your life. Just need to trust him. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for this day. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to these students. I pray that you'll be with us as we move forward. There's a lot of unknowns in our lives, Lord, but we want to say to you today, we want to say to you that we're giving you our unknowns. We're giving you the places in our lives that don't make sense. We're giving you the stories in our lives that maybe hurt, or the stories in our lives that we don't see a purpose to. We're giving all of those to you tonight, Lord, and we want to say, take control. We want to trust you. We want to trust you because we know that you are in control, and we want to give you our lives, give you those unknowns, and we want you, Lord. We want you to walk with us. We want you to walk with us through that. In Jesus' name I pray, amen.